Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is June 16th, 9:20 a.m. And stocks are up in the pre-market. Stocks are up pretty aggressively in the pre-market. Palantir is at $17 in the pre-market. It's like $16.99 now, but it was at $17 in the pre-market. The S&P 500 hit 442 yesterday, or 443, which is a 2023 high in last night, and it continued that relatively flat, but still the same in the pre-market. So today's going to be an interesting day because today's a Friday. Today the market tends to sell off. Monday the market is not going to be open, so we are going to see how the market reacts today. If the momentum continues, if valuations continue getting their premium, now the market is not trading 20 times earnings; it's about 25 times earnings, and we're going to see where things go from there. Felicia, Moody, Rekis, Dejuki, John, Power Napster, Sonam, Mr. Emilio Sen, good morning from Denmark. I love it. Inbound, Daddy Amit, Seth Roth, Jude Jr., Sasky Rose, Rich Webster. First thing, do you have a link for channel membership? I do. If you just go to the channel and you click near the subscribe button, it'll have like a dollar thing, and that's or you can just click join and join as a channel membership. Cameron, Vincent, Damien, Theo, Angel, Sasky Rose, Bay Ray, Martin, Alberto, Greg, Fletcher, Lenny, David, Joe. Good morning, everybody. Kyle, welcome to the Market Open. All right. So, first of all, it's Friday. I hope everyone's having a great day. I wore the shirt that I have not worn for a while, and I was like, you know what? It's Friday. Palantir's at fucking $17 pre-market. I'm busting out the shirt. I'm busting it out. I got to do it. Now, granted, even if I'm busting it out, it's probably might not go that well for stocks because it's a Friday, but I had to bust it out. Nvidia is at 433, up 1% in the pre-markets. Palantir is at 1696, up 2.17% in the pre-markets. It hit 1703. The Nasdaq 13,788. S&P at 442, up 0.33% in the pre-market. Tesla, I don't know why it's not showing me the Tesla price right there, but in the pre-market, I can see it's $258, so it's up about 1%. Meta at 283, that's an all-time high for Meta. Or sorry, not all-time, the 2023 52-week high. That's a 52-week high for Meta. You've got Robinhood breaking out to 1015 now in the pre-market. Stocks are up. And I don't know if this is a head fake and things are going to collapse as soon as the market opens, but stocks are absolutely up. DNA up at 198 pre-market. Coinbase is up $55. ARK is up $45. Microsoft is at 349, even though it had a nice run yesterday. So again, stocks ran heavy yesterday. QQQ 372. It was at 370 yesterday, and it is up. Stocks are up. Stocks are up this market, and we're going to see where the market goes from there. John, what's up, Amit? Thank you all for being here. Def got Palantir over 17 today. Let's see. I mean, 16 was massive resistance, and then we broke through it, and now we're at 17. And so it'll be interesting to see if we can actually crack through the $17 range when it comes to Palantir and not have it be massive resistance. You should say sometimes good afternoon for us European fans. Good afternoon to the Europeans. Thank you all for being here all across the world. Yo, it must be kind of interesting to watch this in your afternoon. Because for me, I'm so into like, good morning. Did you drink your coffee? Did you brush your teeth? All that stuff. That's the vibe I'm in. And you guys are just like done with work or whatever. You know, you're trying to like get through the rest of the day. But hopefully this is still fun for you guys in the year. Amit, yesterday, where did you find that Palantir news? As I was looking all day and I never saw it until this morning. That's a good question for bringing up, David. Let me actually share that right now. So for those that didn't catch the news, the reason I believe Palantir is up in the pre-market outside of the macro getting pretty good is Palantir got 3 new deals, totaling about $100 million. By the way, this was me last night. I was playing chess with my cousin. I lost 4 games to 2, bro. We had a 7-game series, or it was going to be 7 games until he won. I beat him on 2 games so badly. The other 4, I got mollywalked. He took my queen and my rook, and I was just like, damn it, I couldn't do anything. But it wasn't whiskey. It was it was orange juice. I can't handle whiskey. We got 3 new deals, okay? And these deals, David, you wanted the link for this. Let me send you it right now. This is the link for anyone who wanted to see it. We put it in the chat. Sachin, thank you for being here. All right, here we go. There we go. So Palantir got 3 new deals, and those deals were from the Air Force, Aerospace Defense Command, Space Command, and the Headquarters Air Force. All of them total about $100 million, $454,815. So three deals, 19.2 million on one of these deals. These are all for basically Foundry-like platforms, to my understanding. We got a $32 million deal, and then we got a $58 million deal. Now, what's important to understand is all of these deals were one-year contracts. They're expiring June 15, 2024. So I think another reason, the market might be excited about this news, and maybe that's the reason for the run-up, maybe not, is because they're one-year deals. So they're not like 5-year contracts that last for a while. $100 million in top line revenue for 1 year from government contracts. I have a video coming out on it later today, but this is the revenue that's sticky. This is the revenue we want to have. And this is the revenue that is good to have sometimes when commercials not doing that well. And so as a result, we get to benefit on that. And again, I put the link in the chat for anyone who wants to actually see the defense contracts themselves. And they're all defense contracts. The DoD put them out, and that's why we got them. It's evening, 9:30 p.m. in Malaysia. Thank you for being here, Afar. Appreciate it, Samuel. Good morning. I've been awake for 9.5 hours. Guys, you're like 17 years old, so you can afford to do that. $17 party today. So again, we hit 17 in the pre-markets. Do we continue to go from that $17 range? We will see. It's at $16.99 right now. So hopefully when the market opens, it doesn't get sold off. It just like continues to go up. And if it does, it's going to be fun. But we'll see where it goes from there. SoFi is down because it got like 2 price downgrades back down to $8. So it went from $9.55 to $9.03, which is a little annoying because, now the only reason this is happening is because the prices run up so dramatically. A bunch of these analysts that, weren't loading enough in the 6 and the 7s because they thought they had time, don't have time anymore. So they're bringing it down. There's SoFi is a $15 stock to me right now. If you just look at all the fair valuations and fundamentals, $8, they want to bring it back down to like a $6 billion market cap, which is, I think, kind of ridiculous. It's a $9 billion market cap. They want to bring it down $3 billion so they can just buy a bunch more shares. So I think a lot of the price downgrades are just a little silly right now. But nonetheless, if it does go, I will be buying on that dip. But let's see if it's resilient. I mean, it's $9 pre-market. Let's see how resilient it is to pull from there. Hood is at $10.14. So Robinhood breaking out just a little bit. C3 AI is up 4% in the pre-market now at $48. Look, I believe C3 AI doesn't really have the best AI products, especially not in comparison to Palantir. However, if they go up, to me, it's only good for Palantir because let's say they're real. Okay, that's fine. Then shareholders get the returns. If they are, if they turn out to be fake and just not that good of a company, they don't deserve this valuation. By the way, the valuation also is $5 billion. So it's not like they're at 30, 40 billion or anything like that. Then they're going to go down and there's going to be just a couple winners left, right? Like the market will eventually reward the winners and punish the losers. And so the losers can win right now if they are losers. I'm not saying they are, but if they end up being losers, then the market's going to just take that capital that out of the losers and put them into the winners. And I think Palantir would be a winner. So either way, Palantir is going to benefit. If it goes up, the whole AI market goes up. If it goes down and Palantir is the real deal, Palantir gets all that extra liquidity entered into their company, which will be really important and interesting to see where it goes from there. Afternoon, Amit. Sean, good morning. Thank you for being here. I'm sorry, Amit. I'm selling Palantir today. Too much money for me to pass up. Look, I can't blame you. I would just say you want to be careful with stuff like this because at 15, people said it's too much money. At 14, people said it's too much money. At 16, people said it's too much money. Look, you might be right because theoretically, RSI, technicals, all that stuff. It's just the market is kind of crazy sometimes. So look, you might be right at taking the cash. And if you got to take the cash, you got to take the cash. It's up to you. I just, this rally might not be as small as we think it is. I'm doing a lot more research. I was talking about this yesterday on the Palantir live stream about the AI market. And by the way, Sachin, we have to get on a podcast soon, just you and me. I want to do like an OG style interview, just you and me talking Palantir. And I want to specifically discuss your ability or your insight in the digital transformation of industries in regards to artificial intelligence. Because the more research I do, the more research the more I see that this market is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the premium on Palantir and Nvidia isn't actually that crazy. Now the growth has to match that. The growth has to match that. But if the growth matches that, this shit is off to the fucking races. Like it's just that simple. It's off to the races because the industry is there for the explosion of artificial intelligence to actually lead to business results. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, literally said he's betting the company on AI, and he expects $10 billion in revenue over the next couple of years just from AI products. I mean, $10 billion, like that's insane, bro. That's like 10% more of their quarterly revenue. It's that's $40 billion a year. It's insane. So we're going to see where that goes from there. And again, if that market's big, if that market's going to be exploding, then we'll see where it goes. All right, 9:30 a.m., June 16, 2023. Thank you all for being here. The stock market is now open. Wake your ass up. Palantir at $16.84. So traded down just a little bit from $16.90. Sold off. Volume is 4 million as the market opens. We have more sell side pressure than buy side pressure, but it's at $16.77, up 1.0%. Let's see how it reacts. I mean, we'll see if there's any buyers at these prices. Again, more likely there are sellers versus buyers at these prices, but we're going to see where it goes back from there. We'll be there in a second. SoFi at $8.95, down 6%. That was typical because the analysts downgraded it, so it's down. NVIDIA, $4.35. NVIDIA doing phenomenally well. I mean, look, NVIDIA at $4.35 is crazy. At $4.20, the RSI on NVIDIA was pretty wild. So now at $4.35, the RSI is at $75, and on the 30 minutes at 68. And if we go down to the daily, it's at 76 right now. So it's definitely getting up there. On the weekly, it's 87. Nasdaq at 13,861. S&P at 442. C3 AI at 47. Tesla 258. Tesla inching towards 260. Meta new 52-week high at $284. Apple another new 52-week high. It was at 185 yesterday. Now it's at 186. Apple approaching a $2.93 trillion market cap company. Amazon at $127. Robinhood breaking out at $10.02, but down from $10.15 from the pre-market. AMD at $124. Nikola up 15% at $1.61. I don't know who's buying that, but I guess someone is. Enovix up 7% from their announcement yesterday of producing like 18,000 more batteries or something like that. So Enovix is up. Truist Financial, $32, down just a little bit. Alibaba is up at 93. Neo is up at 994. Snowflake at 191. Enphase at 181. Now again, Snowflake's come back, but it's a $62 billion company. I think this is more market macro versus fundamentals. They reduced their guidance. Their growth is slowing down. They don't have an AI product, so I don't know why the market's giving them this valuation, but the market is. You should not be someone to be buying this stock at this valuation. Let Wall Street deal with those bags. You should not have those bags. This is the one stock I will be like, no, do not buy this at $62 billion. And if you miss it, you miss it. But at $62 billion, I do not think this is a stock to go for. Enphase at $181, Snapchat at $10.79, Coinbase at $54, Arc at $44, Roku at $72. Where's Spotify? Spotify's stuck at $149, $154. So Spotify's up just a little bit as well. The Qs, $371. The Qs are at $371. All right, so let's see. Remember, guys, we have a long weekend ahead, so there may be a sell-off later today as holding gains for 3-day weekends can cause a stomach crunch. That is correct. On Monday, we have Juneteenth, so that is a national holiday in the United States of America. That means that we will not be having the market open, so that might also play an impact. Palantir at $16.79. So it's up yesterday. It's up from yesterday, where yesterday was stuck at like $16.50. Now it's at $16.80, but overall still down in comparison to what we saw in the pre-market. So let's see. I mean, maybe we have some buyers, maybe we don't. But in general, it's kind of crazy how like this market's not stopping. Like this thing, 442 on the S&P. Could you imagine 442 on the S&P? I mean, that's 478 is the all-time high. It's 30 points away. It's not that far, but it's pretty wild. Thank you for the super chat, Uncle Jesse. $5.50 from Canada. Palantir going at 500. Have the nuggets to hold it or sell it or beat it. We don't want weakness. Look, I mean, we can't imagine where the markets are going to go over the next 10 years. And if AI becomes the thing we think it can become, with all the different regulatory frameworks and infrastructure that needs to be involved, there is no reason Palantir can't win that market. I don't know if it's a $500 stock, but I do know that it can win that freaking market. And if it can win that market, and look, here's the other thing about Carp, I don't think Carp wants to get up in 2028 and be like, oh, I said we were going to take the market in 2023 and we failed. Like, I don't think that's his personality. I really don't. I don't think that's personal. I think he's going to be like, I think he wants to stand there and be like, I told you we were going to take the market and we took the market. And I think that's just the type of guy that Carp actually is. What's up with SoFi? What's the reason behind a pullback? Downgrades. SoFi got like 3 different downgrades today. And as a result of that, they got down. Sachin, I'm going to message you for that podcast on Twitter. So we'll set up a time for that podcast. But yeah, SoFi definitely got downgraded. I'm about to actually check some of these positions. Yeah, they're definitely down. Oh, wow. Hold on. I got to put in some orders. What is this? So the Truist fell down incredibly dramatically. Hold on. Let's do this. No, let's do this. Okay, let's see if that goes in. Wow, some of these orders fell badly. Let's see if this one goes through. Yeah, okay, let's see. Remember I sold half at 10. Yeah, that's true. Some of you guys sold your SoFi, and that's fine. Look, to me, I didn't want to sell SoFi because I got a good position on it, and I'm just letting it ride. So to me, I didn't even want to worry about selling and buying and selling. Now SoFi at $9, so recovering just a little bit, down 4%, but still holding above 9. If it consolidates around 9 for the rest of the year, that's not bad, man, because that's a really good catalyst. When we get the student loan catalyst, gap profitability catalyst, all that stuff, then SoFi should likely benefit. See, this is the thing about placing orders for options, bro. I put in an order and then the price jumped like 70% right after I put in the order. And so it's not going to fucking get filled. This is the crazy thing about options. For those that don't know, I have a bunch of Truist calls. It fell down like 70% today. I'm like, all right, let me buy 5 more. And then it just jumped right back up. Like, this is the hard thing about playing. This is why you got to stare at the market, because if your order is not in, it's just, you stay there for 2 seconds and now it's up almost 80% from where the option was priced at. And now it's not going to fill. This is incredible, man. It's just so crazy how timing works within the markets. DRK, hello, thank you for being here. What else we got? Baidu launches Calm fully driverless ride-hailing service in Shenzhen, expanding nationwide. Yeah, they're coming for Tesla. China is definitely doing their own thing, bro. You know, I didn't even realize how big of a deal like what do you call it? Like autonomous driving was. I had to do a lot of research for me to realize why it's such a big deal. Because every time Kathy would talk about it and stuff, I was just like, it's just like a robo-taxi. Why is that a big deal? It's not that serious. But apparently it's like it unlocks a crap ton of productivity. So every country is going to be trying to unlock that for themselves. Obviously, Tesla's probably in the lead, but it is a big deal. And whoever figures it out is going to be very, very important. All right, let's take a look at some mainstream analysis for why the market is this high and if this is good or bad.
Investment strategist at Hightower and a CNBC contributor. I was actually thinking about you this morning, Steph. I mean, after I read your notes, I wasn't sitting there thinking about it, but I was thinking about you after I read your notes. And I was thinking how happy you must be that you're mostly a bottoms-up person, because how would you feel if your business was S&P targets and raising them and lowering them? I'm not going to mention any names, but you watch the show. I mean, you see how many times we've heard 3,200 on the S&P? You know how many people said no, not now, no, not now, no, not now for the past 3, 4, 5 months? What do they do? What do they feel like? That we had one guy from Stifel, I think. He was so
basically he's asking, if you're not in this market and you're not getting any of the gains, how are you dealing with it?
cocksure about what was going to. I said, well, don't we know about all these things you're scared of? Oh, no. Only I know about. He's like 30. But look where we are now, 44, 25. You haven't had to say one way or another, buy or sell. You just say, well, I'd buy UPS here, or I like that, or you come up with these ideas, and you can kind of don't have to get involved in that other stuff. But you've been kind of friendly towards the market overall. I wouldn't say you've been a bear.
No, definitely not a bear, not a raging bull. To be honest, I've kind of thought we were going to stay in a trading range, and I've been surprised that we have actually rallied as much as we have. But I think the reason why we are rallying and why even yesterday was so powerful, Joe, is because we're slowly checking the boxes of all the concerns, and we're getting some sort of resolution, debt ceiling, bank crisis, even the Fed, right? I mean, the Fed was confusing with the pause and then on the other side, the dot plots going higher and Powell kind of being hawkish to some degree because of inflation. We got all that. But the point is on the Fed is you're in the ninth inning. Whether they raise 1 or 2 more times from here, we don't really know. But in 6 months and 12 months, we're not going to be talking about the Fed raising rates. I don't know if we're going to be talking about the Fed cutting, but we're not going to be talking about them raising. And all of those things are good. So now we just have to watch the fundamentals of the economy. And it's been okay, right? I mean, yesterday, retail sales, really pretty impressive. Housing has rebounded. Autos, the supply chains are getting through, and demand still is strong. And of course, then you have this onshoring theme, and the regional manufacturing data points that are coming out suggest the PMIs are bottoming. So I add it all up, and I'm not going to give you a target on the S&P 500 because that's not what I do. But I do think that all of these things bode well for earnings. And everyone was so concerned and negative over the last several months, quarters, that I think we're now reversing that. And that's a really good thing. And to your point, I can find some stocks that I want to buy.
You won't give an S&P.
So she's bullish, and her bullishness mainly comes from the fact that companies have been putting up good numbers on their earnings. Palantir going just red a little bit at 1660. So it was nice while we had the 17. Now it's coming back down. Look, we kind of expected that was going to happen. 17's major form of resistance. And it's a Friday, long weekend, so no market on the Monday. So makes sense. We're getting a little bit of a decline. Palantir now at $16.57. Still, it's crazy for us. I'm just like, oh, it's only 16.57. It's only up like 170% from May, but it's down today. So Palantir's down. We'll see if that ever comes back. Again, it's Friday. Probably won't. But if it does, it won't be too bad. NASDAQ at 13,788. It is up all time for 2023. C3 AI now coming down just a little bit. Tesla 259, very close to 260. SoFi recovering a little bit at 910. So not bad on SoFi, but still not the 950 range that it was before. And S&P falling just a little bit at 441 from yesterday. It was at 443, but still S&P is doing okay. So here's the question. Here's the question I have for the chat. Are you selling or are you holding? Are you selling off any of your positions? Are you trimming off any of the top? Are you letting half ride? Are you playing with house money? What is your strategy to manage this? Or are you just here for the ride? That is my question. Are you selling or are you here for the ride? You guys know my answer. But I'm curious, are you selling or are you staying for the ride? Have 30 contracts on SoFi, $10 expiring today. We'll leave to expiry just in case. Yeah, that makes sense. Again, those downgrades just got it in the morning and makes sense why analysts are doing this. Such and says sold covered calls on Roblox, 38.5 strike, $69 contracts, price basis of 38.05. So locking in profit. Okay. So that's a 45-cent profit then on each of those contracts. So that's not bad. That's pretty good. Broccoli's buying. Daniel is holding. Kyle's trimming short-term calls. Holding. Selling calls 3 months out. Not the worst idea. Keith holding. Joseph holding. Everyone's holding. Adding some QQQ. DCA always all in. I love that answer. Ride the trend. Selling calls and holding. Buying and got to jail for 10 years. I don't know what got to jail means for 10 years. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. But okay, you are buying. Most people are holding. Oh, I should poll it. You're right. I should poll it. I should be using YouTube polls. Let's see. I think we can have 3 options, right? We're going to do polling, selling. What are you doing? Add option. Okay. So hold, sell, buy. What are you doing? No, I'm definitely not buying. There's certain things I would buy, but I'm not buying. So I'm curious if anyone's actually buying. I am holding, definitely holding, but not buying. Not buying yet. 45-cent premium on covered calls. Yep. Not bad. Holding and diamond hand Palantir. Diamond hands. Shorting the Qs. Okay, we got a short on the Qs. That's a good answer. I mean, I don't know if it's a good answer, but that's an interesting answer. We're shorting a little bit of the Qs. Selling my SoFi puts today. Buying and selling cash secured puts. All right, not bad. Well, a lot of people seem to be either selling covered calls and getting some premium or cash secured puts, or holding and riding with the trend. And again, it's kind of just fun to hold and buy on the dips because if shit goes crazy and it just keeps running, it'll be a little bit more fun to see where it goes from here. Okay, let's get to a little bit of a bear perspective. We got the bull from Stephanie. Let's get the bear from this dude who looks like Christian Bale. Suspicious we're bumping up against the high-end range in equities.
For a technical look at the market, Chris Verone, Strategas Research Partners, head of technical.
Tell me that doesn't look like Christian Bale, bro. Fucking Batman, Dark Knight out here.
In macro research, we'll start with.
Let's see what his voice sounds like, though. That's going to be interesting. I think his voice is going to be high-pitched. Let's see what you guys think. I think it's going to be high-pitched, not low-pitched. It's going to be high-pitched.
The stock market, I guess. And
yep.
we want to talk bonds also. So is this is there more to come, or are we at the high end of a range in your view?
Well, so I've been thinking about it this way. This entire move has come against the backdrop of an
It's kind of high pitched, bro. It's not really low pitched. It's kind of high pitched. All right, let's listen to it.
Inverted curve. And we went back and we looked, what were the largest rallies ever with an inverted yield curve? You have 2 big outliers. 1979, you get about a 30% S&P rally, and the curve was inverted the entire time. And mid-06 to mid-07, I think a period we remember well, 30% S&P rally with an inverted curve. So if we put 30% on the October lows from last year, gets you about 4,500. So we trade 44.25 today. My suspicion is we're pushing up against the higher end of the range. But at the end of the day, the trend is the trend, and you can't fight the trend, and that's just history. And we're have to respect the price momentum here. So I would watch two things. I'd say number one, when we've seen markets falter in the past, it's with leadership changes. This has been very pro-cyclical leadership, particularly the last several weeks. So I think if something's going to change, that would have to be the knife's edge, and there's no evidence of that yet here.
You're the reason that I said we'll start with stocks is because you're, in terms of yields, you think we're going to break out to higher yields, and I'm trying to decide whether that would mean the economy is in pretty good shape, which could be good for stocks, or it could mean that the doubt that the bond market has had that the Fed's resolve, maybe it's been wrong, and the Fed does stay tighter for longer?
Well, I think that's certainly the message of yields here, and it's this very unique backdrop where you've actually had some softening in the economic backdrop, yet you have yields up. That's particularly true in the UK. It's recently true in Germany as well. You've had 10-year yields here basically chop for 8 or 9 months. 390, 395 is a big level. I think certainly anything above that, step aside and let them go. The move we've seen in UK 10-year yields over the last 3 weeks has been explosive. And the move we've seen in German 2-year yields the last several weeks has been explosive as well. So I think if something's going to upset this market, my suspicion is it would be what upset it last year, which was yields running away. So look at 10-year real yields here as well. They've broken out over the last several days. That, I think, is going to be the big test for the second half of the year. This whole move in equities has been against the backdrop of a very, very tranquil yield environment. I think if that starts to change, your antenna has to go up.
I think he's right on that. I mean, look, yield curves have been cutting down pretty dramatically over the past couple of months in terms of the 2-year and 10-year. And as a result of that, more money's going into equities. Now, the problem is the yield curves are still inverted. So the 2-year is still paying you more for a 10-year, which is still not the best. And so as a result of that, equities might potentially be, as he's saying, a little tricky right now to deal with. And that's something we have to watch out for. Samuel, I just see your message. I'll check the Palantir chat in the Discord after this live stream. So I'll check that out. Let's get back into a little bit of the chart, see what's going on. S&P, all right, we got some green, some red. S&P at 440. SoFi down below 9. Palantir's red, but not too red. SoFi's below 9. NVIDIA at 428, so it's red, but still green for the overall day. NASDAQ down just a little bit. C3 AI is up just a little bit. Tesla still hovering at 259. Meta 280. Apple 185. Apple getting this like overall market momentum, I think, is kind of ridiculous because Apple's up 47% year to date. We don't know how the Vision Pro is going to sell. We don't know what the new iPhone is going to look like in terms of sales. Services revenue, it's going up, but they're at a 31 PE and they're projecting less than 10% growth over the next 2 years, like 24, 20, 25. And Vision Pro is not going to help with that because it's not going to grow that much, at least now. So I think there's a little bit of frothiness on Apple's valuation. I would not be buying Apple right now. I just wouldn't. Now, if you have a 10-year horizon, sure. But in the short term, I would not be buying Apple. Apple is it's hard. It's for me to justify personally to be buying Apple, especially with other opportunities in the market. Now, Amazon, on the other hand, I still think is a little cheap. Obviously, I would like it to be below in the $100 range, which I had a bunch of Amazon at like 103. I sold it to get into Truist options. So I had like $5,000 worth. And then I got rid of them. But Amazon, I think, again, could theoretically be cheap. It's a question of if they can effectively reduce CapEx to be able to show at least like a 2% margin on the retail business, which might be a year out. But if they do show that little margin, because right now they have zero margins, the market would definitely respect that. Zoom at $69, Bitcoin at 25,000. Bitcoin's been having a weird day and week, to be honest. It came all the way down to 24, rebounding right back up. So for those who trade Bitcoin, I guess you're going to have to it's been a decent trading cycle for you if you're buying on the dips and selling as it gets higher. But Bitcoin's been at 25,000. Google at 125. We had a great debate on Finance Junkies last night about the future of Google. Let me ask this question to the chat. What is the market cap of Google in 2030? Because Tanner's argument on Finance Junkies last night was Google is going to be irrelevant because their search business is essentially going to become stagnated. The market's not going to see growth. They can't diversify into other products, which means revenue acceleration is just not going to be there because they don't have anything to grow revenue. Whereas Microsoft has a very diversified portfolio. There's a lot of different bets there, and Microsoft can make a lot of money in a lot of different ways outside of just search-based advertising. Tesla's buying Amazon. Apple isn't a manufacturer. They're a $3 trillion product designer. That's true, but they're also $3 trillion, so they've got to grow a lot to be able to justify even a higher valuation, right? Because if you buy it right now, you're expecting it to grow more than $3 trillion. That's the issue. 900 billion. Wow. So Josh thinks in 2030 Google's down. That's a prediction. That's 3.5 trillion. How many shares of Palantir do I have? 3,000. 3,000. Hard to say. Hard to say. Need 6 more months to figure out Google's future. Yeah, I don't know. Google's in a very interesting position. Tanner is wrong. Other than Palantir, what do you hold now? I actually put up a tweet with my portfolio a while ago. Let me share it. Let me share my portfolio. If you're not following me on Twitter, it's in the description. You can check out the tweet. Again, for those that are new or who haven't got the news yesterday, Palantir has gotten $300 million, 3 deals totaling $100 million. And those deals are really important because they're government deals. And as a result of having those government deals, it's great sticky revenue. I have a video coming on it later today. And that's going to be just really, really great revenue going into Palantir. And they're all 1-year deals as well. Okay, so this is my portfolio right now. I have Palantir, SoFi, Enovix, and Cisco. I have 1 share of these 2 companies because I was gifted them. I have PPBT and then TFC. Okay. Now, PPBT, do not buy this company. It is a lottery ticket. Management is the most disgusting management, share dilution, reverse splits, all that stuff. However, I've done a lot of due diligence on the company, and I think they have a chemical molecule called NT219 that can get bought out by a company like Bristol Myers Squibb. So I am literally holding it for a lottery ticket chance for the past almost 4 years now that they get bought out and I make like 20, 30x my money. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Could it happen? Yes. I would not spend your time even doing the due diligence. And again, if I thought you guys should spend your time, I would give you guys the hint. This one is like literally dead money in my portfolio. I'm just holding it because I don't want to fucking sell, because if they get bought out, I'm going to be really pissed off. I held it for 3 years and then I missed out on the run up. So otherwise I would have sold it like years ago, literally years ago, but I kept it. So don't buy this one, but PBBT is there. Trust me, like seriously, don't even look into it. It's not going to be one that you want to look into. Palantir is the best stock over the next 10 years, in my opinion. I really do think that's the case for Palantir. SoFi has more catalysts that are going to be exciting and still undervalued compared to most banks. And this one I'm very excited for in the context of SoFi and what it can do. TFC is the 7th largest bank in America by deposits and got wrecked with the FRC collapse. It does not deserve to be down. Price target on TFC is $46. I think TFC is going to be fine. Enovix might take over the world one day with their battery tech. They had a great shareholder call yesterday about their production in batteries. Cisco for the divvy, free cash flow is a monster. And the next position I'm building is SLG. I want SLG to be, SLG has a 13% dividend yearly, which is a really nice dividend. I had to sell a bunch of it to load up on TFC in May, but SLG is one of those stocks that I want to load up on as well. And that'll be my real estate exposure. So that will be the exposure I have there. DNA. I do not have DNA. Again, I sold out of DNA at $2.92. Not a fan of management selling millions of shares at like $1.90. So, DNA, I'm just not into yet. Now, I really like the long-term potential of Ginkgo Bioworks. Do not get me wrong. I really like it, and I might get back in. But my thesis on going long was because I see potential in the company. The thesis breaks when insiders are selling 7 freaking million shares in like a month. The thesis breaks. Like, you can't have a thesis when your insiders do not believe in the company. And so that was really annoying for me personally, along with the share dilution. Now, again, they're getting their shit together, but I would give them a couple quarters to see if their shit actually does get into place and some of their earnings to get there. I see my Fubo stock is saying, well, I think Fubo is different than my biotech. My biotech's like a hit or miss. Fubo, I think, will grow pretty nicely in the television space, I think, from the little I know about it. But yeah, I think Fubo hopefully should be better than that. You're missing Tesla. I'm going to buy 1 share of Tesla. So you guys like get off my back about not having Tesla. I'll buy 1 share of Tesla. Ricardo, hey, Amit. Hey, thank you for being there. Sell all, buy Tesla, to be honest. Look, man, I've got a lot of these plays are options as well. So they're not just the stock. And as a result of that, the returns can be pretty cool. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes from there. Google lets all the world to lose. It has been the definition of monopoly in search until now. Too much risk for me. Look, and I agree with that point. Google has a lot to lose because it has had a monopoly. So in terms of growth, for them to grow a monopoly is harder, especially with increased competition. For them to diversify their products and be an innovative AI company is the way they have like a $5 trillion valuation by 2030. The question is, can they do that? And I think they can, but I don't know if they'll be able to do it. Why not buy more Rocket Lab, more research? Honestly, I just don't have the capital to allocate to a position in Rocket Lab. So it's interesting, but it's going to be dead money for a while, right? Rocket Lab's not doing the 4 or 5x. We think it's happening soon. It's going to take probably 7-8 years. So right now the capitals, I'd rather get a divvy from SLG. I'd rather get 13% than hope Rocket Lab makes it big. Dutch Bros, no, not yet. I got to do. You guys saw the Kava? Lol, let's look at Kava. Dutch Bros is an interesting company. I think it's a really good brand. Have not picked up any of it yet. Kava IPO'd yesterday. Wow, it's still up. Wow, Kava's at $44. Kava IPO'd at $22 yesterday. It's up 100%. It's still up at 44. That's crazy, bro. That means the market basically said 22 was the opening price, but investment bankers really are allowing it to stay at 44. It didn't fall back down. That's incredible. So when it IPO'd at 22, the banks got rich. They probably bought a crap ton, and they haven't dumped it on the market yet. My question I posed on Twitter yesterday, and let's do the last question before we end out the morning stream. Last question for the day, okay? Let me actually share the tweet. I think it was a good question. It was an interesting question. I have an answer that's very obvious. I would like to know your guys' answer, but my answer is very obvious. By the way, before I go to that question, I actually want to show the clip of Tanner shitting on Google yesterday and going kind of crazy. Let me just share my Twitter. Okay, here we go. So I got to show you a couple things. First, I got to show you this meme. Real quick. I bet he's thinking about other women. And then what I'm really thinking about is a consulting firm can't have 80% margins. That's what I'm thinking about at night. Okay. And when we got those contracts yesterday, that's what I was thinking about. Okay. Let me show you this Tanner clip, and then I'm going to show you the question that I asked yesterday. And I want to see your guys' answers.
This is how the Google shareholder thinks. This guy says, Google has a better ecosystem than Apple. You must be on Mars.
Well,
You must be
that has nothing to
on
do.
Mars.
Two different things. Two different
Google
wheels, John.
pays Apple to put their platform on the Apple iPhone. If they're able to develop these LLMs and create the exact same service that Google has, why would they pay that? Like, they can control that ad spend and have that entire search on their own. And that would be 50% of their overall revenue. And you're banking on the idea that that just won't happen cuz. Okay. Yeah.
Talk your shit, bro. Talk your shit.
Good idea creating an ecosystem behind no hardware.
See what happens on Finance Junkies? You get fucking violent.
We got the real Tanner. So that was a little fun by Tanner seeing that. Okay, now here's the question I asked yesterday, and this is the last question to end it out. Here we go. You guys ready? What is one restaurant you'd sell your liver for? Yes, I know you only have one liver. It was a metaphor. People are like, oh, like, how do you sell your liver? You mean to say kidney? I'm like, no, I meant to say liver because it was more hyperbolic, but I guess the joke didn't go through. What is one restaurant you would sell your liver for in order to buy if they went public? For me, it's not a question. Chick-fil-A. I don't know how many people know Chick-fil-A if you're international, but Chick-fil-A is the biggest, like, not the biggest, but it's the most delicious chicken restaurant in the United States, and it's always packed. Chick-fil-A is just, if it goes there, I'm buying Chick-fil-A. Canadian range. Tanner went from 0 to 10 faster than Google search. I love it. Okay, we got Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A not being open on Sunday is a legit investment concern, but that also creates a psychological demand kind of for the product, to be honest. Buc-ee's, gas stations, Chick-fil-A, Popeyes. Popeyes is already public through a holding company. I am UK, but Chipotle. Well, Chipotle is already public, so you can buy Chipotle. SpaceX. Okay. Blake, I asked for a restaurant, not SpaceX, okay? Obviously, we would buy SpaceX. KFC is better chicken sandwiches. I disagree on that, but okay. Popeyes. All right, so we're still sitting through the chickens. Chick-fil-A. Most people think Chick-fil-A. I'm not buying restaurants. Look, restaurants, don't sleep on them. Chipotle has had a great run. Dutch Bros is doing okay. Wingstop is growing like crazy, even though the valuation's kind of wild. Don't sleep on restaurant stocks. They can go. Have you guys seen Celsius? Oh, I got to show you this one. Do you guys know this energy drink? I have a friend who drinks like 5 of these a day, and I tried it. It's disgusting. But look at this. Look at this chart, bro. This is Celsius right now. It's at 145. Look at the max. At COVID, it was at $4. COVID, 2019, 2020. It was at $4. It's at 145, bro. This is like a 30, 40x, about a 35x since in 2 years. A 35x in 2 years from energy drinks. This is why you got to pay attention to restaurants, because when there's a legit brand and there's a cult following, like if any of us knew about Celsius back in 2019 and we just like bought some stock because we liked the drink, we would be up 35x. It would be better than every stock in the fucking market. It'd be better than Tesla. But like, you got to have the intuition to be like, oh, are people actually drinking this shit? And now I didn't like it. So, but my friends drink it like a lot. So for them, I guess it's a bigger deal than me. Celsius dog water. Yeah, I don't like it too much. Yeah. All right. That's it for me. Thank you guys for being here. Cheesecake. That's a good example as well. Cheesecake is good. I'll have one video coming out today on the Palantir contracts, discussing that and breaking that down. So if you want to get the showdown on that, please watch that video. SoFi Weekly tonight at around 9:30 p.m. Palantir Weekly at 11 p.m. Got a lot to discuss. Obviously, a lot of deals, a lot of contracts. And that's pretty much it for me. Thank you all for joining every single day during the live stream. I think we broke 600 every single day of the week, except yesterday. Yesterday, we hit like 590. So super, super big. Awesome. Means the world to me. I appreciate it a ton. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Have some fun with family and friends. It's probably hot wherever you are in the world. So go out, go to the park, do something fun. Monday, I won't see you in the market open since the market is closed. And so I will see you on Tuesday for the market open. That's it. All right, everybody. Thank you. Have a great weekend. I appreciate it. See you guys later tonight. Bye-bye. I hope you guys like the shirt, by the way. Bye.